Hello and welcome. Today we're going to dive into the work of psychiatrist Dr. Gerald G. and explore a really radical and I think deeply compassionate way of looking at addiction. Honestly, it's an idea that might just change how you see, well, yourself and pretty much everyone around you. Okay, let's just start right here with this quote, because it cuts right to the heart of everything. Think about what he's saying. Dr. May isn't talking about some small, troubled part of society. He's talking about you and me. He's making the case that the very same forces that drive the most severe addictions are actually present in some way in every single one of us. It's a huge claim, and it totally reframes the conversation. So, that brings us to the first big idea we need to unpack, that addiction isn't some rare problem or a moral failing. It's a fundamental part of just being human.
What we're going to do in this explainer is really get into a new way of seeing addiction, not as something out there that happens to those people, but as a process we can all start to recognize in our own lives, often in places we'd never expect. It's all about shifting from a place of judgment to one of understanding.
So, how does this universal process even work? Well, according to Dr. May, it all starts with this pure, powerful human energy that he just calls desire.
Now, what's so important to get here is that desire, in this view, is a good thing. It's actually a wonderful thing. It's our engine, right? It's that deep, natural yearning we all have for meaning, for love, for connection. The problem isn't the desire itself. The problem is what happens to it.
And this is the crucial next step. Attachment is the process that takes that beautiful, open-ended desire, and as the word suggests, it nails it down to something specific. Imagine a powerful, flowing river suddenly being forced into one single narrow pipe. That's the moment freedom starts to shrink and compulsion starts to grow.
And just look at this list. See? We're not just talking about drugs or alcohol. Our desire can get nailed to our job, to our relationships, to being liked by other people or having financial security. It can even be nailed to our own ideas and beliefs. Seeing a list like this really makes it click, doesn't it? It shows how this process can apply to literally everyone.
Okay, so if attachment can hook onto so many different things, how do we know? How do we know when a strong passion or a habit crosses that line into a real addiction? Well, Dr. May gives us 5 really clear signs to look for.
Think of these 5 signs as a kind of diagnostic toolkit. They're what help us tell the difference between a healthy interest that we freely choose and a compulsive behavior that has started to choose for us. Let's break them down.
First up, you've got tolerance. This is that creeping feeling that what used to be satisfying just isn't anymore. You need more of it. More success, more likes on social media, more caffeine, just to get that same old feeling. It's a hunger that just can't seem to be filled.
Second is withdrawal. And again, we're not just talking about physical shakes. This is the anxiety, the irritability, that deep, gnawing unease you feel when your thing, whatever it is threatened or taken away. I mean, think about the low-grade panic you might feel if you realize you've lost your phone. That's a form of withdrawal.
Third, we have self-deception. Oh, and our minds are absolute geniuses at this. We create these amazing justifications to keep the behavior going. I deserve this. It's not hurting anyone. I'll deal with it tomorrow. It's like having a little spin doctor in your head who works 24/7 to protect the addiction. Number 4 is the big paradox, loss of willpower. This is that frustrating place where you make a firm decision, okay, that's it, I'm stopping, but you just can't seem to do it. And Dr. May points out, so ironically, that the very act of trying to wrestle control away often just makes the addiction's grip even stronger. And finally, number 5, distortion of attention. This is where the addiction completely hijacks your focus. The object of your attachment becomes what he calls your ultimate concern. It's the thing you think about, plan for, and organize your life around. It basically becomes a kind of false god pushing everything else off to the side.
So, we've seen what addiction looks like. We've seen the telltale signs. Now let's get into the mechanics. What's the psychological engine that turns a simple behavior into this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle?
So this process of attachment happens in 3 main stages. It starts out pretty innocently, but it builds into something incredibly hard to break. Let's walk through it. It all begins with stage 1, learning. It's simple. You do something, let's say you check social media, and it gives you a little hit of pleasure, or maybe just relief from boredom. Your brain makes a very basic connection. This thing equals feeling better. Then comes stage 2, habit formation. Now when you feel stressed or unhappy about something else entirely, your brain remembers that easy fix, so you start actively seeking out that behavior as a way to cope. It becomes your go-to solution and you start doing it more and more. And finally, we hit stage 3, Struggle. By now, tolerance is built up. You need more of it, and you start to feel withdrawal, that anxiety when you don't do it. Now, any attempt you make to stop just creates more stress, which, guess what? It makes you crave the behavior even more for relief. And there it is. The cycle is complete, and it's now feeding itself.
After seeing a cycle like that, it can all feel pretty bleak, right? But this is where the whole perspective takes a dramatic turn. Dr. May argues that the solution isn't found in fighting harder, it's found in a place we would never expect, in surrender. So here's the crucial idea. On one side of the ledger, you have our own efforts. They're based on willpower, pride, and struggle. And as we've seen, they often just lead to failure. But on the other side, you have this concept of grace. Dr. May describes it as a power outside of ourselves that shows up precisely when our own power runs out. It's not something you earn through struggle. It's a gift you receive in weakness.
And this quote just captures that paradox perfectly. The moment we stop trying to be the all-powerful masters of our own lives, the moment we finally admit, I can't do this, I'm not in control, that is the very moment a different and much more profound kind of strength can finally show up.
And that's really the ultimate mind-bending takeaway from all of this. Our addictions, these forces that feel so destructive, can paradoxically be the very things that lead us to humility, to openness. By forcing us to our knees, they shatter our pride and create an empty space. And it's in that space that healing, or what May calls grace, can finally come rushing in.
So we'll end with this question, because it really reframes everything. Instead of seeing our compulsions and our attachments as sources of shame, what if we could start to see them as invitations? Painful ones, for sure, but maybe invitations to a deeper kind of freedom than we could ever find on our own.